Well, look, when in doubt, we always go to microbiologist Siouxsie Wiles when she joins us now. So, Siouxsie, why are we hearing so many of these stories about false negatives on rats?
So rats need a certain amount of virus in order for people to test positive. And so, some people will have symptoms, and because they've been vaccinated, it means that actually there isn't enough virus there for the test to pick up. We also know actually that Omicron, because it infects slightly different part of the body, so more like the throat than the nose, that actually some people will never test negative with a nasal swab. Actually, it needs a throat swab.
So should we be using these rat swabs at the back of our throat?
One thing that's a bit tricky is, well, first, the tests haven't been validated that way, but also that the swabs we have are not quite the right ones. So I think people need to be a little bit careful. You can certainly try, but I wouldn't want anybody hurting themselves by, gouging a bit too far. Actually, one of the other reasons why people can test negative is if they aren't actually swabbing the right part of their nose. So the really important thing is just to remember to go low rather than high. And also for these tests, you don't have to go very far, so just a couple of centimetres in.
Yeah, I've seen a few diagrams online, and I never realised my skull had so many canyons in it, so many caves. So what I'm hearing is if I have symptoms and I take a rat and it's negative, doesn't necessarily mean I don't have COVID.
Yeah, so definitely test again, because I say if you're somebody who's been vaccinated, especially if you've been boosted, you may well have symptoms, earlier, and so you don't quite have enough virus there. But, as I say, again, some people just won't ever test positive because they actually don't have much of the virus in their nose. It's much more in their kind of throat.
Out of interest, does a negative rat guarantee I'm not contagious?
No, again, I would say it doesn't, especially not if you have the virus more in your kind of mouth. But they are really good for that kind of, when people are infectious. So if it is a positive, please isolate.
Do you think that we're getting more of these false negatives here than other places because we're highly vaccinated?
That's certainly one possibility. And I think, we know that lots of people test negative. Over social media in the last few months, there have been lots of people overseas saying they had, negative tests with their nasal swabs, but as soon as they looked at their throat or saliva, they were positive. So I think this is something that's happening everywhere.
Well, Siouxsie, it's always great to chat to you. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.